Are you ready to break free from the doubts and limits holding you back? Welcome to Embrace Your Value, where therapy meets coaching to help you unlock your true worth and take control of your life.
Hi, I'm Kristin, a trauma therapist dedicated to helping you heal, break old patterns, and reclaim your power.
And I'm Jen, your support coach, here to show you how to set fierce boundaries, embrace self-compassion, and step boldly into the life you deserve.
So, whether you're stuck in self doubt or feeling lost, know this: your value isn't up for negotiation. It's time to own it.
Every week, we tackle real issues that challenge, inspire, and empower you to live with purpose and confidence.
So, grab your favorite drink, take a deep breath, and let's get started.
Because you're not here to play small. It's time to embrace your value.
Hey friends, welcome back to Embrace Your Value. I'm Kristin, your neighborhood therapist who loves reminding you that feelings, even the messy ones, are valid and worth exploring. And I'm Jen, your accountability ally and boundary setting bestie. And today we're diving deep into something that so many of us wrestle with, and that's guilt. Specifically, the guilt that creeps in when we start to prioritize ourselves. Let's be honest. How many times have you done something just for you and immediately thought, was that selfish? Or you canceled something because your tank was empty and instantly you felt like you had to justify it with an essay-length apology. I know for me, that's probably the bigger thing that I've done is bailing on activities, but then feeling so guilty about it. I spent the whole night texting them about how sorry I am. And I'm like, that's just really silly. So that's what we're talking about today. Why we feel guilty for putting ourselves first, how that guilt holds us back, and how to break free from it without shame. Guilt often starts young, especially for women. We're raised to believe that being good means being selfless, and being selfless often means putting everyone else first. Yes. And the wild part, we end up wearing self-sacrifice like a badge of honor until we're burnt out, bitter, or completely lost. One of my clients said to me the other day, if I'm not taking care of everyone else, what's my value? And that really hit hard because I know a lot of my clients feel that way. And I know I felt that way. If I wasn't doing something for somebody else, I wasn't worthy enough to even take up space on the planet. And that's not a good feeling to have. Yes, I see that a lot with my clients too, Jen. It is this feeling that if we can't provide value to others, then we don't have any value. I actually spoke with somebody about this just, I guess, yesterday. Same thing. If I can't do things for other people, then what's my value? It's that deep rooted belief. If I put myself first, then I'm letting someone else down. But self-prioritization isn't betrayal, it's preservation. Yes. And I always say it's actually the best form of self-love. Like, how do we let other people and love on other people, but we don't love ourselves? And that to me is self-prioritization is self-love. I love that. Yes. And guilt is sneaky. It doesn't just make you feel bad. It really blocks and stunts your growth. I've seen clients hold off on rest, therapy, even career changes because they felt guilty for wanting more. Yes, I've heard that story before. I didn't come to therapy before because I was fill in the blank. So the interesting thing about this is that guilt can become a control mechanism. It keeps us stuck in roles like employee, manager, boss, mother, and expectations of other people. I have to do this before I can do this. And our daily rhythms, the things that keep us structured. And those things don't serve us anymore. It tells us that we're bad if we dare to say, I matter.
Exactly. But here's the truth. You can't serve from an empty cup. And consistently sacrificing yourself doesn't make you a hero. It makes you exhausted. And so I want to share a little story. This is a personal story, and I have permission to. It's not so much about the guilt. There is some of that in there, but it's mostly about taking care of everybody else and not prioritizing oneself. So many years ago, I was doing some youth work in my church, and I was asked to mentor a young, beautiful, talented, smart sixth grader. Her mom was so busy taking care of her dad, who had all these medical issues. They just needed somebody else to just really be there and spend some time with her. And I started picking her up from school and doing all these things with her and really spending a lot of time with her. And I will never forget, about 18 months into our journey, her mom called me and she said, I have stage 4 breast cancer and I've only been given 6 months. I don't want you to tell my daughter yet. We haven't told her yet, but I really need to know that you're going to be there for her after I'm gone. Now, we all assumed that her dad was going to go first. We all assumed that that was the case, that he was that sick. He was having all these issues. He had already had 2 strokes. He was just having all these issues. And I said to her, how did this get to stage 4 without you finding out about it? And she goes, I was so busy taking care of him. I just kept pushing myself off and I just let it go. And I didn't go to the doctor, and this is where it's at. And that has always stuck with me. And that was really one of the first things that when I started this coaching journey and this specific thing, it was like, I want to help women so they're not dealing with that. So they have the tools and the resources to take care of themselves and take care of their loved ones. So I thought this was a good place to share this story because she did end up passing away within a few months. And we did have a lot of things in place, which was really nice to take care of this young girl and her dad. There were just already systems in place for that. But that's just something that's always stuck with me. And we don't have to do that. We don't have to prioritize everyone else before us, no matter the situation. And yeah, so that's a story I just really wanted to share here.
Yeah, that's a really good example of the most severe thing that can happen if we don't do something to prioritize us each individually. I had a similar situation happen in my own family where somebody put off medical attention for a long time and it ended up being not good. So that's something that happens, unfortunately, more than we would like it to. So reframing guilt and embracing self-care. This is where we shift. Guilt is not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign you're doing something different. A lot of times we think different is wrong, and it's not. It's simply just different. So the thing is, our nervous system does not like different. It does not like change. It does not like shifts. So it doesn't like it yet.
Yeah. I like to say new habits feel wrong before they feel right. So here are some practical tools to help you reframe guilt. Name it. Say, I'm feeling guilty about. You can say what it's about, but that doesn't mean I'm doing something bad. So you could say, I feel guilty for taking the day and spending it by myself instead of being with my spouse or my children. But it doesn't mean that's wrong. So the funny thing is that when we feel guilty, there's usually some piece of that puzzle that we also feel. So when you take some downtime for yourself, that rejuvenates you, right? And it gives you some peace and you feel better, but then you try to beat yourself up for it. So name it, say I'm feeling guilty, and then remind yourself it doesn't mean it's wrong. And rewrite the story. That's the second part of this. Instead of I'm being selfish, try I'm being responsible for my own well-being. I'm giving myself peace. I'm giving myself self-love. Those are the things we want. Then anchor in your why. Remind yourself why this boundary or choice matters to you and your future. If you're taking 3 hours to spend by yourself instead of being with your kids because you're drained, remember that you're going to love them better after those 3 hours are up and you are refreshed and rejuvenated. So here's a little journal prompt for you. What would it look like to prioritize myself with love, not guilt?
I love that. Love, not guilt. Wow. That would be, I think, really hard for a lot of people to sit down and really consume and be able to journal about. So I think that's a great challenge. I love that. So I just want to say something really quick. When you're talking about feeling guilty, feeling like you're doing something bad, feelings aren't necessarily facts, right? Behaviors are behaviors, but feelings, they just don't mean that what we're doing is right or is wrong. Your example was spot on. If you're doing things for the right reasons, right? Why am I making this boundary? Just because you're feeling guilty doesn't mean that you're wrong. And it doesn't mean that you are guilty, right? It's like, I don't feel pretty today, but it doesn't mean that I'm not pretty today. That's a really superficial example because I might not feel pretty. I told you this earlier. I haven't felt good. So I'm like, oh, I don't necessarily feel pretty today. But that doesn't mean that I'm not, or whatever it is. So I think it's important to remember that feelings really aren't facts. So speaking of feelings, for those deep feelers, practice compassionate self-talk. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. It really is. It's not easy. It's not easy to feel uncomfortable. It is okay. And you can get through it. You're allowed to grow. Guilt doesn't mean stop. It means you're stepping out of that old story.
Yeah. And again, I tell clients all the time, when you're uncomfortable, growth is right there. Like usually when you're feeling uncomfortable about something, it's because you're on a growth path. And so I love that you put those two together. That's perfect. And I want to say this loud for the people in the back of the room that aren't really listening. You don't owe anyone your burnout. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's strategic, it's sustainable, and it's sacred, and it is self-love.
So what if there was a new way to be? Imagine if every time guilt showed up, you greeted it with curiosity, right? It's like Jen was saying earlier, why am I doing this? Why am I creating these boundaries? Why do I need to do these things? Is it so that I can be a better mother for my kids? Is it so I can rest, so I can replenish for my clients? Why am I doing this? Curiosity instead of shame, instead of I'm bad because I'm wrong for doing this. what would that change for you? How would that change your life?
You know what it would change? You'd stop apologizing for resting, for taking breaks. You'd stop proving your worth through exhaustion. You'd start living your life on purpose, with intention, not out of obligation. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds amazing to me. That's just incredible.
I love the second one that you said, which is stop proving your worth through exhaustion. I think that's a huge societal standard. It's you have to work 40, 50, 60, 80 hours a week in order to prove that you're worthy. You have to be exhausted. You have to keep going. You have to do more. There is no rest. Go, or you've done nothing. We're all allowed to take up space, right? Whether we're doing or not doing. We all deserve to have space in this world. You are allowed to choose yourself.
Yeah. And if you need a little reminder of that every now and then, we're right here beside you. We will remind you of that because that's what we both love to do. So if this conversation sparks something in you, take a moment today to reflect, journal, or even text a friend and share your takeaway. Growth starts with small, intentional steps like that. And also, if this episode spoke to you, we'd love it if you'd share it with a friend who might be struggling with guilt too.
Yes, please do. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple. And leave a review so more women can find this message.
Absolutely.
Like you said, share it with a friend.
Yeah. There's no reason not to. If you're going to get something out of it, shouldn't they? Don't you want your friends to be healthy like you are? I know I do. I share all this kind of stuff with friends. I'm always sharing books and podcasts and all sorts of crazy things. They probably think I overshare, but I don't care. And we also really want to hear from you. So if you got something out of this, we would love to hear that. What's one thing you're no longer going to feel guilty about? Drop it in the show notes or send us an email because we would love to hear it. And if you have ideas on what you want to hear from us, drop those in as well. They're always welcome.
Yeah, I would really love it if just some people would say, here's something we want to hear more about. Or here's a whole new topic that I would love for you guys to cover. We need some fresh ideas from you guys. We're here for you. We're doing this for you. So we love to hear ourselves talk, right? Obviously. But it's also, we're doing it for you. So if there's something you want more information about, just drop us a little note, send an email, leave a comment, whatever.
Absolutely. So until next week, take care of yourself. Find one simple way to stop feeling so guilty and prioritize your own emotional well-being.
We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Thank you for being here with us today.
If today's episode hit home, don't just keep it to yourself. Subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Because everyone deserves to know their worth.
Next week, we're diving even deeper with more insights and tools to help you break free from limitations and live authentically.
Until then, keep raising your standards, owning your worth, and embracing your value.